Hello, fellow mathematicians. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the mathematics needed to understand advanced calculus. Advanced calculus is calculus, but except you prove everything, so it's a little bit more difficult. Let's start with the notion of a set. So we're going to let A be a set. And so by definition, a set is a collection of objects. So for example, we could have A. This is the set containing 1, 2, and 3. So the objects in this case would be the numbers 1, 2, and 3. These are also called elements or members of the set. Okay. Another example would be the set B. So sometimes we can define a set by specifying its elements or members, and then sometimes we can specify what is the criteria to belong to the set. For example, B is the set of all x such that, so the line is read such that, you can also use two dots, by the way, you could do this. Okay, you can also use two dots or a line. Either is okay. So such that, let's say x is less than 3. So this is the criteria required for a number to be in B. So if we say a number is in a set, we use special notation for that. So for example, 2 is in A. So you would say 2 is in A. So this means is in, belongs to, is a member of, is an element of. I like to say is in. It's just easier to say. So 2 is an element of A. It's in A. For example, in this case, the elements of B are the elements x such that x is less than 3. So you would say, let's see, so 0 is in B, right? Because 0 is less than 3. So this is the condition for something to be inside B. If something is not inside a set, you use different notation. So for example, 4. 4 is not an A. So you could say 4 is not an element of A, right? 4 is not an element of A. So you draw the little is in symbol and you put a dash through it, okay? So for example, in this case, 5 is not an element of B, right? And the reason is 5 is not less than 3, so it doesn't satisfy the condition to be a member of B. So that's basic set notation. This is called set builder notation. Oh, I forgot about this. You can also write this in what's called interval notation. So in interval notation, this would be parentheses negative infinity, comma 3, right? It's all the elements less than 3. You've probably seen this notation before in your study of mathematics, right? Typically, when you're first learning math, you tend to use a lot of interval and some set builder. There are special operations we can use with sets. Let's talk about some of those operations. So the first operation we often see is called union. So if you have two sets and you take the union of those sets, that's the set of all x such that x is in A or x is in B. So you would say x is in A or x is in B. And it's important to keep in mind that or in mathematics is not like or in English, right? This means x is in A or x is in B or x is in both sets. So one or the other or both, right? Or both. So the or is an inclusive or in mathematics. That's called union, A union B. Then we have intersections. That's A intersection B. This is what they have in common, right? Everything A and B have in common. So write A intersection B, and it's the set of all x such that x is in A and x is in B. So again, you've probably seen this before, but just going through a quick recap. Then we have another one that you may have not seen. It's called set complement. So B minus A, or B set minus A. This is all of the x's in B that are not in A. So it's all of the x's such that x is in B and x is not in A. Right? Sometimes it's written with an actual minus sign, so like B minus A. I prefer to use the set minus symbol, so the little backward slash rather instead of the little minus. So this is everything that's in B that's not in A. So those are the basic set operations. There's more, but these are just the really basic ones. Let's talk about some of the important sets that we'll see in advanced calculus. This is really, really key. So there are special sets that come up in the study of advanced calculus. Probably one of the most important ones is the set of natural numbers. It's a fancy n, and it's the set containing the numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. Some people like to define 0 to be a natural number. That's fine. I like to stick with 1 as being the smallest natural number. Then you have a set of integers. So it's a z, looks like this. And I believe the symbol Z is used because it has something to do with a German word. I think it's Zahlen or something like that. I think it means numbers. So it's named after a German word. So the set of integers looks like this. So it's all of the whole numbers, positive and negative, including 0. So let's say -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, ... The dots indicate that it goes on forever, right? In both directions, dots to the left and dots to the right. The positive integers are the same as the natural numbers. A lot of times if you're watching my videos, you'll see me do this. I like to use this to avoid any confusion between the natural numbers, just because some people like to use 0 as a natural number, just to make sure I'm 100% correct. This guarantees it. Then you have the rational numbers. Those are all the fractions of integers, right? So it's q, like this. And it's all of the elements of the form a over b, such that a and b are integers, and then b is not equal to 0, right? B can't be 0, because if b was 0, you would get division by 0, right? So this is the set of rational numbers, so natural numbers, integers, rational numbers. Then we have the real numbers. So these are the numbers we typically learn before anything. So negative infinity to infinity, that would be the real numbers in interval notation. Then you have the complex numbers. These are all the numbers of the form a plus bi, such that a and b are real numbers. Right? That's the set of complex numbers. And then there's a really nice inclusion you can draw between these sets. So like the natural numbers are contained in the integers, right, which are in turn contained in the rational numbers, which are in turn contained in the real numbers, which is contained in the complex numbers. I probably should have told you what this means. This means subset. So if you write A is a subset of B, this means that all of the elements in A are also in B, so it's contained in B. So if this is your set B graphically, your A is contained entirely inside of it. So the natural numbers are a subset of the integers, which are a subset of the rational numbers, which are a subset of the real numbers, which are a subset of the complex numbers. One more thing and then we'll be done. Let's talk a little bit about quantifiers. That's something else that comes up in advanced calculus that you should be familiar with. So if you write a backwards A like this, this means for all. So this is for all. For all. And if you see a backwards E like this, it's not a backwards, it's an upside down A, a backwards E, this means there exists. There exists. So if you say something like for all x in R, this means for all numbers x in the set of real numbers. So for every real number x, this means for all real numbers. Right? You can translate it to that. Right? So for every real number x, if you say for all n in z plus, this would mean for all positive integers n. This is the same thing as saying for all positive integers n. That's the same thing as saying that. If you say, let me do it over here. Let's say you say there exists a p in q. This means there exists a rational number p, right? So there exists a rational number p. So it saves you time using these quantifiers in advanced calculus, and you see them all throughout the study of advanced calculus. That's it. I hope this video has been helpful. Until next time.